Hey buddies, Mr. Pugly here, coming at you with another Wonderlands video. The item we're talking about today is going to be the legendary Valora by the name of Storm Surge. Now the Storm Surge is always going to spawn in shock, and it's going to have a special effect. When you melee someone, they'll have a chance to spawn a lightning bolt. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch on the top right. I've been streaming Wonderlands content for 5+ hours every single day on Twitch, so if you're looking for Twitch Wonderlands content, make sure to follow me up there. And let's get into the video.
Legendary? Whoa! No way, dude!
This item has a dedicated loot drop source from the boss at the end of the God's Well. Now to get to the ends of the God's Well, all you need to do is travel to the Drowned Abyss, which is right here on the overworld map. Once there's going to be 2 fast travel locations you can travel to. You want to go to Dryl's Galley, and once there you can quickly get to God's Well right here. And many of you are probably already aware of this boss because it is one of the bosses in the main campaign, but basically this is one of the more tankier bosses in the entire game, so it will take you a couple of seconds to actually kill. Of course, each phase doesn't last too long, but the annoying part when farming him is that there is going to be a total of 3 different phases you have to deal with when fighting this boss, so it is going to take a couple of minutes to farm each attempt to get these items. But as long as you have an optimized build, you should be able to clear each phase pretty decently fast. Even on KS level 20, despite him being so tanky, it does only take a couple of seconds to completely kill him, so you shouldn't have too much of a hard time killing him either, as long as you have an optimized build. Now I gotta admit, before I even talk about the actual quality and usability of the actual weapon, I gotta admit that it's one of the cooler weapons in the entire game, because it is one of the only weapons that actually just looks like a big staff, which is very fun. So it kind of makes you feel like a caster, even though you're not really casting magic with it, you're just kind of swinging it at people and dealing damage. Since it is a Valora, it doesn't swing terribly too fast, but the main cool perk is being able to hit multiple enemies at once with the actual melee, since all Valoras are able to do that. But the actual unique perk about this particular weapon is that when you melee someone, they're going to have a chance to spawn lightning like that. Unfortunately, I noticed this lightning does not actually hit more than one enemy, so if an enemy is close enough to the first enemy that gets a lightning strike, it does not unfortunately hit multiple enemies, which is a big unfortunate perk of this weapon. It does apply a decently big shock dot on the actual enemy, which is pretty nice if you're looking to deal lots of dot damage. So that's something to consider if you are a Stabbomancer. But I do feel like the damage of the lightning strike and the damage of the actual melee weapon itself could deal a little bit more damage, just baseline. Of course, if you were to equip a live wire, it's going to deal a lot more damage overall because of the live wire interaction. But you know, that's mostly live wire and not necessarily the weapon dealing lots of damage. Now, because of the fact that it does spawn the lightning bolts, it is able to deal additional damage to allow you to deal more damage with Echo, so that is nice to consider, but it doesn't deal enough damage to the point where it makes Echo deal a substantial amount of damage, which is a bit unfortunate. I feel like because of the the ability itself, and since it's such a unique effect, the lightning strikes should deal a lot more damage than they actually do. As you see, it's striking that guy, like 3 times right there, and you didn't even see his HP bar move at all, which is a bit unfortunate to see. The lightning strikes definitely need a buff, because you know, a unique effect like that and such a RNG effect as well should really deal more damage than almost really none like that. It's a bit ridiculous. I feel like it should deal a substantial amount of damage, but it just doesn't, unfortunately. But as I said before, it does actually deal a pretty decently big dot when you actually hit with the enemy, and it is always shock. So if you're looking for a shock based build, you could actually use that as a way to deal more damage with your melee, or if you're doing just melee with a bunch of shock damage, you know, you can do it like that. Unfortunately, this melee effect that procs the lightning is only procced by the melee itself. So if you were to melee with Ghostblade, that doesn't work. If you were to melee with Dreadwind like this, it doesn't proc the effect either. It's only when you simply swing with the sword, which is a bit unfortunate. It would be really cool to see a bunch of lightning strikes while you spin around, but once again, it doesn't deal a lot of damage, the lightning strikes itself, so I don't know how useful that would be. Definitely, I would love to see a buff on this weapon, because not only is it extremely cool looking, but it is an extremely cool, unique effect, and I would love a way to just channel a bunch of lightning and see a bunch of lightning strikes besides using spells with your melee weapon and see it deal a lot of damage as well. But at the current moment, it doesn't deal that much damage, but it is a fun and nifty weapon to use, and it is pretty good for screenshots, I'll admit. And as always, a big shout out to the members who make these videos possible. We have Jace Noodles, Clairvoyance, Rick Iglesias, Super News, Josh Dig, 31 Bar 70, Doorman Tazzy, and Grey Wolf. These are the people who support me as little as $5 a month, and you can also support me as little as $5 a month by clicking the link in the comments or description or in the top right to become a member. The more members we have, the closer I get to becoming full-time, which means more videos for you guys. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.